I love to throw the Dynamic Disc Blend Slammer. It is a great disc, very predictable. You know what it's going to do. You can get behind it and not have to worry about what's going to happen.
This disc is nothing short of amazing, very overstable, very predictable. I know exactly what I'm getting out of this disc. If it's windy, if it's not windy, no matter the conditions, I know I can trust the Lucid Slammer. I know I can throw it out there flat with a lot of power, and I know it's going to finish out to the left.
One's a Moonshine Slammer, and this is kind of like a slower Justice, like a Justice putter, and it's pretty overstable for a slammer. They're meant to be like overstable, but that thing's mean overstable. This is my second overstable slammer, and this one I got in Iowa at Worlds. This one is more beat in than that one, and I can put it on a little high on straight, and this comes out at the little on left turn, and I just use those for like 120 ups. This one is my prototype slammer. This one's more beat in. I had this one for a pretty long time. Probably had it from about last year. I throw this one on a little hyzer, and this pops up straight and this glides and it starts gliding. Might have a little right turn and it just sits.
I was a harp thrower. I love the harp, but this thing took it out of the bag. It's probably a little more overstable, which I like, and it's the little thumb track in it gives you a really good grip to hold on to, so it's very comfortable in the hand.
This is for utility. I like to throw this for hyzer shots, short range hyzer shots. If I don't need the Justice, if I don't need the distance of the Justice, I will disc down to the Slammer to get the same kind of shot, just a little bit shorter distance.
I love this disc. What I use this disc for mostly is forehand up shots. When I have trouble deciding whether I should jump putt or backhand and kind of really get a throw on it, if I'm in that in-between level, I will use this slammer. I can just pop it out on a little bit of a hyzer and it just hyzers in right in. I always hit my mark with this disc. Also, if it's a pretty headwind shot and I need sort of an overstable putter that will be able to hold that wind, I will use the slammer. It comes back every time and it doesn't turn over. So this is a really good disc to have.
This is a Lucid Slammer with a sweet team stamp, and then this is a blend slammer I hit an ace with in Emporia. You may be asking yourself how long that ace was and should it really count, and the answer is none of your business. The Lucid Slammer is very overstable. It's like a mini Justice for me. I like it because it is a little bit slower and feels more like a putter in the hand, so I like throwing that for overstable approach shots. And then the blend plastic just grabs the ground a little bit more. That's what I like these for. Also, if it's a really stiff headwind, like 20 miles an hour or more, which surprisingly we have a lot of in Kansas. That's what I'll use the Slammer for headwind putts, because they don't really move. They just kind of hold the line for me, which I really like. Recently, Paige and Zach signed this one. Paige and Zach signed this one for me in the van, in the bag video. Even though they weren't there for the ace, they were kind enough to do that, and now it flies a lot better than it did before.
The Slammer, for me, is something that I can use as a forehand or a backhand disc. Backhand, I'm primarily using it into headwinds or to throw a little stall that'll go up there, stall, and fall down.
This disc is really good. It's comparable to my Justice. For me, I don't get a ton of distance out of it. I use it as a utility disc. I love this on a sidearm. You can really crank on it and it's gonna fade. It's very overstable. And same with backhand. I rarely power grip a putter, but I will power grip the Slammer because it's gonna fight no matter what I do. And in a headwind, it'll go like pretty much dead straight and still finish. So super reliable disc, and I love reliable discs.
I carry two of them. The first one is a white one. It's a prototype. It's the first Slammer we got at, I believe it was the Gentleman's Club. And it's gotten a little more seasoned, a little more beat in, and it's my favorite sidearm approach putter. I use it in the woods, out in the open a little bit, but really it comes in handy in the woods for a forehand approach disc. Really love the Slammer. And then the other one is a yellow first run Slammer. This one is newer than the white, and so it's got a little bit more beef, a little bit more overstable. And so I use this a little bit more backhand out in the open for hyzer approaches. Almost 70% of the time if I throw a putter backhand, it's going to be a Warden, but if it's a little windy, if it's in the open, and I really need that predictable hyzer finish, I'm going to go to the slammer.